Tennessee Titans fans, it is that time of the week where we hop on to the Two-Tone Talk and the Tennessee Titans Reddit page to see what fans are saying about the current state of the team and the organization. The link to the Two-Tone Talk Reddit page, which is brand new, is in the video description below. Go over there, get involved in the conversation, leave some comments, questions, memes, concerns, whatever, and I will be reading some of those every single week here on the channel. We've got a couple of posts from there and then some from the actual Tennessee Titans Reddit page that we're going to be going through today. Let's get to this one from Dan the Man 1989, who said, who do you think will be the biggest free agent on the market? Also, who do you think the biggest free agent is that we can actually get? I don't think we go all out like last year, but there are big names in free agency this year. To me, I think that T. Higgins is a name that's been thrown out there so many times as being associated with the Titans at wide receiver. I have some real hesitations about that. Not that I don't think T. Higgins is a talented guy, because obviously he is, but we already having a veteran wide receiver in Calvin Ridley on one side. I'd like to have somebody younger through the draft that would be cheaper, that would have more longevity for the Titans down the road. I would rather try that. I get the appeal with T. Higgins. He's such a talented guy, but I just don't know if I want the Titans to pay for a guy like that when he's had injuries. He's been in the league a while now. I also would say I lean toward fixing the right tackle position in free agency. I know people will roll their eyes at that because we've tried to fix the tackle positions in free agency in the past, and it didn't work. Andre Dillard, Dennis Daly. But I just feel like in this draft, I mean, depending on what you do in the first round, I just feel like there may be some other positions that are better for you in the draft. So I think you could approach the right tackle position through free agency, maybe a trade. And then obviously quarterback, even if you draft Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, you might be looking at drafting a veteran backup if you were to trade Will Levis. And especially if you don't draft Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, now you need to pick up a person who can come in and play quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Sam Darnold. So those could be some realistic names for the Titans in free agency. Here's another post on somebody shared from Nashville Barstool. Cam Ward to the Titans, or will it be Shedeur? And obviously they've got the edit of Cam Ward in the Houston Oilers throwbacks. Looks pretty sharp. I'm not going to lie. I mean, listen, this discussion's going to rage on for the next 3 months or however long it is till the draft. Should the Titans draft Cam Ward? Should they draft Shedeur Sanders? Should they not draft either one? Everybody's got a hard opinion on this. I think the upside with Cam Ward is significant. I think he is obviously, there are some special things that he's able to do. But then there's the belief that Shedeur fits Brian Callahan's offense better. Then again, how long is Brian Callahan even going to be here? I don't know. That's another discussion for another time. Right now, I'm probably a little more intrigued by Cam Ward, but if they get to April and they feel really good about Shedeur, I'm fine with that too. I will say that edit of Cam in the Oilers throwbacks looks pretty sharp. Let's jump over to the Tennessee Titans Reddit page, where someone shared this. We'll never understand how the Titans managed to fumble having a team led by these two. It is a picture of Derrick Henry and AJ Brown. It really is, it's a bummer, especially with AJ, because we traded him. We had a choice to keep him, and we chose to trade him. At least Derrick, it was years later, and he was a free agent, and we really didn't have as much say-so in the matter. But, yeah, it sucks when you see both of their respective teams, the Eagles and the Ravens, still in the playoffs, both of them contending potentially for a Super Bowl, and to know that we had them both. We had them both, and we couldn't figure out how to make it work. We couldn't figure out how to keep what we had going, coming off of being the number one seed. Now, I will say, I don't know if the good times were going to keep rolling, in large part because we had drafted so poorly up until that point. Thank you, John Robinson. But also, the offensive line was getting ready to disintegrate as well. Taylor Lewan was getting older. He was banged up. He was getting ready to retire. Ben Jones only played one more year. I think Roger Saffold was still with us as when we had AJ and Derrek, and then he left to go to Buffalo, I believe. And the offensive line was really going the wrong direction. So I don't know if the Titans, even with Derrek and AJ, would have been as good. But you could argue you could have gotten at least one more season of high potential if you had just kept both of them. But we didn't. Let's go back to the Tennessee Titans Reddit page here where it says, if you are against drafting a quarterback at pick number 1, then what should the Tennessee Titans do to address the position in a realistic way? Consider the fact that Amy Adams Strunk has no patience whatsoever with the new stadium opening in 2027. Also, keep in mind that part of your job will be to cater to what Brian Callahan needs and ensuring he doesn't get fired. What alternative options do you have besides drafting either Ward or Sanders? Well, if you don't draft Ward or Sanders and you decide to go with a bridge guy, to me, I mentioned their names earlier. Aaron Rodgers becomes a very realistic option. He has a house in Franklin. He's talked about Nashville on the Pat McAfee show and how much he likes it. So if you don't draft either one of those guys, I think Aaron Rodgers becomes a realistic possibility. I think Sam Darnold becomes a realistic possibility. I think with the way Darnold played in his final 2 games with the Vikings, I think he lost some money there. I don't think he's going to get paid as much as he would have 2 weeks ago if the season had ended there. So you could get Sam Darnold. I've heard Derek Carr's name thrown out. I could vomit. Russell Wilson. That's a name, but these are not names that really excite you, but these are the names. These are the realistic names that are going to be thrown out there, and this user has a good point. Keep in mind, Brian Callahan's coaching for his job. He's coaching for his job. You want to get somebody in here that can at least do something to make this team show some promise, and that can get complex. The next post says, we will always be a run-first team, and that's okay. And then it has this stat showing 1,000-yard rushers since 1996. Titans far and away lead the pack with 23. The original post says we'll always be a run-first team, and that's okay. But is it okay? Is it? What has it gotten us? Listen, I love Derrek. I love CJ2K. I love Eddie. I love all of those great running backs that we've had. But, what has it gotten us? I already X'd out of it, but, the Patriots are toward the bottom of that list with 8,000-yard rushers. They're the ones that have won a bunch of the Super Bowls. I get it's great to have Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley or one of these guys. Yeah, it's great to have them, but when you look at our list of great quarterbacks that we've had in Nashville, the fact that we're still talking about Steve McNair as much as we are in 2025 because we hadn't had anybody as good as him since. Think about all the duds, man. Over the years, whether it was due to coaching or just not good enough, whatever, when you're not hitting at the quarterback position and you have to be a run-first team because you don't have that strong of a passing game, what does that ultimately get you at the end of the day? It doesn't get you a Super Bowl, I guarantee you that. This is an interesting question. Dirk Diggler, 2424, says, who are the Titans' untouchable players? Thinking about the current roster, I can honestly say, in my opinion, our only untouchable player is Tavondre Sweat. That's interesting. I would unload Jeffrey Simmons for the right price in a heartbeat. The only other one I could be swayed on is Latham. Whiffing on the draft for those few years really screwed the pooch. In the eyes of most people, the most untouchable player on our team would be Jeffrey Simmons. I know a lot of people feel like he didn't play as well this year and kind of aggravated with him, but don't get it twisted. He's still a great player. And if the Titans were going to offer to trade him, all 31 teams in this league would be calling about him. He is the guy that if you talked to the other 31 teams and said, if you could steal a player off the Tennessee Titans, who would it be? Pretty sure every one of them would say Jeffrey Simmons. It's just the way it is. I know it's easy to get aggravated because things didn't go the way we hoped this year with him, but he is still, in my opinion, the most untouchable player. I guess the the one who's the best. I would still say that, even though there were other players who played well for the Titans this year, in spite of how terrible the team was as a whole, I would still say Jeffrey Simmons leads the pack. Last but not least, let me scroll up a little bit so you can see. Jumpy Tune, 9932. He's the QB we deserve, but not the QB we need right now, with the picture of Marcus Mariota. You know what? I've said it. I said it in the past, few months as we're trying to figure out this quarterback thing. I mean, listen, just bring Marcus back in here just strictly for the vibes. You know what I'm saying? Titans aren't going to do that. Titans aren't going to do that. Brian Callahan coaching for his job, and you're going to bring in Marcus to be the starter. I don't think that's going to happen. Everybody go to the Two Tone Talk Reddit page, link in the video description. Leave me some questions, comments, memes, whatever you think, and we will get to it next week here on the channel. God bless you, everybody. Tighten up. Bye.